Good morning, traders. Let's do a rundown of our this week's hotness removals. We're going to look at which coins pumped and which coins dumped. And as you can probably guess, there are a few of our coins that have dumped rather than pumped, although we didn't do too bad, all things considering, and considering where Bitcoin is. Um, Let's jump into the chart here. We'll look at Bitcoin first, of course, and I will do another update today with more details on this. But right now, Bitcoin is below and has confirmed a move below our black line. All right. Now, in the past, I've always been pretty clear that once we get below that, I'm selling. However, things have grown a little bit more complicated due to the fact that, number one, we are resting upon significant support at 37,550, and also see this little descending wedge. That is a bullish sign. The other thing that I'm spotting here is slight bullish divergence on the RSI on the daily. So from this price here on the 11th of April until where we are today, the 2nd of May, the price action has gone down while the RSI is telling us it is getting more bullish. All right, so there's a few hidden factors in our chart here that signify that there could be something that the market has not yet put their finger on. Possibly the Fed will be more dovish than expected come midweek when they make their decision about interest rates. That could be what we're seeing here in the charts. I am not sure. The price is pretty flat. I'm watching this closely, and I'll do another update on this separately. All right, let's jump into the cryptos or the alts that I had on this chart last Monday. All right, so 1 week ago, I didn't get to my removal on Friday. I apologize for that. Let's see, 1 week ago, I got to figure out what the date was the 23rd of April. All right, so 23rd of April. I just got to find out where I'm looking here. All right, so 7 candles ago. All right, so we are sitting above 39,300. We are sitting right on that support on Bitcoin. All right, so LCX, I had mentioned that we are or were in this bullish flag. However, we've dropped below the 50-day and dropped below the 100-day. That takes us out of the bullish flag. Now, one thing to note here is if I were to bring this, let's just see what happens if I bring this triangle lower. All right. You probably still could say that we've just that we broke out to the outside of this bull flag, and now we're kind of using the top as a sliding down. Sometimes that does happen before a takeoff. The reason why I'm going to remove this as a dump versus a pump is because it is not the best setup right now. All right, under that 50-day and under the 100-day, this would not be an altcoin that I picked out for you. All right, so I want to leave coins on this chart. Let me adjust my chair here. I want to leave coins on this chart that I specifically would pick out today if I saw this, and this would not be one that I would be interested in. So for that reason, I'm going to remove it again with the disclaimer that I'm not saying it's still not going to pump. It very well could, and looks like it's still outside of that bullish flag and going to go up to its target. But Again, I have to take it off because it's not the perfect setup. So I'm going to put this one in the dump list and take it off of this week's hotness. All right, Colt. All right, so haven't done a video on this in a while. Pending my schedule, maybe I'll do a video on Colt soon. What happened is we broke to the upside of this bullish flag, and then we came back down, formed a descending wedge. All right, and now if I zoom in here, get rid of the volume so that we can see what we're looking at. All right. Oh, that was the wrong one. Volume. All right, so you can see that we broke to the upside of this descending wedge. And yesterday we were up over 30%. That's the top of this wick. And now we're kind of forming a shooting star, which is a bearish pattern. So maybe that's all the pump we get on this. I am not sure. Longer term, yes, I do have a final target way up here, and I do believe we will reach that. The question is in regards to the time it takes. That's always the hard part on these charts. I can do price and pattern. Timing is a bit tenuous. It's just hard to predict the time on any of these things. So I don't know when that will happen. I don't like this bearish candle forming, but who's to say that we don't, go up the rest of the day, maybe even hit our 20-day moving average and then sit on top of this next resistance level at 1981, use that as support and continue our way up. I'm going to leave this on the list for now. Next week, I may have to take it off. It has dumped since I recommended it. However, I can't take this off of the list because it is a good setup right here. We have a descending wedge and we've broken to the top side of that. And when it's going to taper out, I don't know. I would expect, we would at least try to hit our resistance here at 1981 or our 20-day moving average. So I'm going to leave it on the list for now. SNX, okay, you can clearly see we broke to the downside of this bullish triangle. And yes, that is a bullish triangle. We broke to the downside of that. And so sometimes that happens. This is all about probabilities, guys. And usually, you want to measure the probabilities in tune, in line with the current trend. And obviously, since November, our trend has been bearish crypto. So for 6 months now, we have been bearish. And I'm still going long on a lot of this stuff because I do believe a bull run is coming before the end of the year. And also, we've remained on the top side of our black line, which I've always said on Bitcoin, this black line here, I remain bullish on the top side of that. Now, again, due to complications in the price patterns here in the chart, I am still long. However, I'm watching this very closely with my finger on the sell trigger. If we drop below 37,550, that's not a good sign. All right. But right now, this bullish descending wedge is saving me, and along with the support, and it's keeping me long in the market, even though we've dropped below and confirmed this move below our black ascending line. All right, so anyways, SNX I have to take off, and this is going to be a dump. Next one, CHZ. All right, broke below a bullish descending wedge. All right, now we've come back up and touched the underside of that, but that's going to act as resistance. This one I have to take off as a dump. All right, next one, SKL. And you can see my record this week is not going to be very, very good, is it? And that's because I'm going long against the trend. The trend is bearish. And that's a hard thing to do. It's hard enough to pick out these great setups and good bullish patterns in when the trend is going up. But then when you're doing it against the grain, against the trend, which is down, it becomes even more difficult. So SKL, let's see, my video came out the 23rd. All right, so we were above the 50, above the 100. And, you could still draw like a bullish flag here, but we're below the 50 and we're below the 100. So this is a dump. I have to take it off. So this is probably going to reflect badly on me this week. But, that's just the way it goes. And I'm trying to be as honest and transparent as possible. It's hard to pick long positions in a downtrend. And sometimes it's just not going to go your way. And this week has been especially bearish. So AAV, why did I put this one on the list? April 23rd. Oh, I see. Okay, we were just sitting above the 50 and 100 day. All right, so that's why. And we fell below. Another dump. Taking it off the list and adding it to the dump list. EOS. All right, so we have dumped on EOS. However, this is one of the longer term, and I said this. I said as much last week. I said, we are coming up against the 50-day which is intersecting with this descending trend line. This is a longer term trade. All right. So this is a longer term bullish descending wedge. And we hit that top a couple times. The next time we hit that top, I expect us to break through. And that's when the, bull run begins on this one. This one, I am still leaving this on the list, even though it's not as short of a trade as most of the ones that I put on this list. This one would be 2-3 weeks to months before we hit our final target. But I'm going to leave it on the list because overall, in a longer term trajectory, it is in a bullish pattern. It is bullish. Unless we break to the downside of this descending wedge, I'm not removing this one. So you'll see this one for a few weeks. Comp has definitely dumped. I can zoom in here, but you can see we are well below, even almost below the previous inverse head and shoulders. So that is a clear sign. We have dumped and we have dumped hard. All right, where am I? Fox. Dump. It's easy. That was just above the 50 and 100 day. All right, take it off. Add to the dump. Wrapped Luna. Okay. So this one's a little more complex. All right. I left it on the list last week because it's hot, and I drew a new target right here, this box. All right. I did not. Remember, I doubted that we would actually come all the way back down to $84. Shouldn't have doubted that because here we are. I mean, we did reach $84, which intersected with that 100-day. Very surprised, even with this bear drawback in the crypto space. I am surprised that we came back to $78. I actually purchased in this area right here. I don't know what my price was, mid 80s, I think. And instead of hitting our $84 support and bouncing, we actually broke through that $84. A very surprising move. But this is still a bullish coin, even being under that 50-day. All right, because we're above the 100, we're above the 200-day, and this coin is hot. There's a lot of buyers in the market for this one. I'm leaving this one on the list. I can't say it's pumped, but it has dumped a little bit, but it's still a great coin at this price. And we're currently working on that $84 resistance. If we can close above that, again, the light is all green on this one. AMP has dropped below a bullish descending wedge. Is that the second time we've seen that on these coins? Got to take this off and put it to a dump. Yeah, this one, it always looks attractive. It's tricky, amp, but it'll sucker you in, and then it will dump on you more times than it pumps. I think I'm tired of looking at this one. It just always fails. Now, I don't actually, I did invest once in this and it dumped on me. Uh, and then I grew bitter because it kept on dumping. It just doesn't follow, uh, probability as well on these chart patterns. So I don't know. I might be done looking at this one. DNT. Okay, we have a pumper here, guys. Finally. All right. So April 23rd, I put out the video. So we were right here on April 23rd. And from that point, we did pump all the way to this wick high, which is actually a perfect level. Why is it a perfect level? Because we have a pivot point right. Let me circle this so you guys can see. We have a pivot, body pivots right here. And we have two body pivots right here. And we have a body pivot right here. As well as this goes all the way back to body pivots here. When I say body pivots, I'm meaning that this is the body of these candles. And it has gone and reached that, and that has acted as resistance and it pushed it down, or it has acted as support and brought it back up. All right. And then we have, a couple wick downs here. So this is definitely a significant line of resistance. So from my video on the 23rd, I don't know exactly what the price was, but where's the 23rd? Come on. All right. So let's just make the middle of the candle there. You got at least 20% on this one. So that is a pumper, and I'm actually going to be moving one into my pump list. And I'm taking this off because I could leave it on, actually. I have to leave it on because right now it's above the 50 and the 100. And so it's still bullish. So I'm going to leave this on the list until the next update on this, and I may have to take it off then. ACH under that trend line. We slid down that slide. We slid below support. This is not, I mean, I wouldn't pick this out if I was looking at it today. So have to be honest here. And this is another dumper. And this is part of the reason why I'm debating whether I even put out a video this week. It's just too much uncertainty at this point. People are not feeling comfortable investing in these higher risk. Already, the crypto asset class is already higher risk, right? But then when you get into the altcoins in the crypto space, that's about as high risk as people are willing to venture. And right now, obviously, people are playing pretty defensively here. ASM fell below that support, taking it off. All right, Koval. All right. It was below the 50 and the 100 even when I mentioned it last week. And the reason why I think I'm going to leave this one on the list is because the RSI is still greatly oversold, and we have the possibility, I should say, maybe depending on what Bitcoin does, probability of hitting that 50-day, which is 45% above its current price. For that reason, just because the RSI is so oversold and the 50-day is so far above current price, I am leaving this one on the list. I do not consider these few little candles to be that significant of a dump in comparison to the possibility of moving up. IOTX, we dumped below support, and I got to close out this video because we are coming to an end here. So I'm taking IOTX off. I'm putting that in the dump list, and let's transition over here to our closing statement. As you can see, this time is not very opportune. We'll have to watch the Fed closely this week, and that is all the time I have. You can read the rest. Peace, guys. Talk to you later.